I'm Leah Kim, 31, a woman who vanished from Seattle 5 years ago with no intention of returning. At my cybersecurity firm, I wasn't just another developer, I was irreplaceable. I solved complex problems that left entire teams baffled. Yet, beyond my office walls, I barely existed, especially to my family. We hadn't exchanged a single word since 2016. That's why my heart nearly stopped when my phone illuminated one cold October evening in 2023. My cousin Rachel, the only family member with my contact, was calling. "Leah," she began hesitantly, "your parents want to reconnect. They're asking you to come for Christmas." Standing frozen in my modest Brooklyn apartment, I felt the world tilt. "After years of silence, they want me now," I whispered. "They seem different," Rachel offered. "They've been searching for you." After hanging up, memories I'd buried resurfaced with startling clarity. I recalled being 13, huddled in Dr. Patel's office as she explained to my oblivious parents, "Your daughter isn't withdrawn. She's being overlooked." "Ridiculous," my mother had snapped. "We treat both children identically." But that was her greatest fiction. My brother Dylan embodied perfection. Athletic star, student leader, everyone's favorite. His 16th birthday brought a gleaming car. Mine delivered a second-hand sweater reeking of its previous owner. At Christmas, Dylan's presence dominated the tree, while mine seemed like hasty afterthoughts. Now they were summoning me back, completely unaware of who I'd become. Every family gathering followed the same script, Dylan commanding attention while I dissolved into the background. That isolation led me to discover programming through a tattered flyer on a school bulletin board. Computer Science Club, Room 27, Thursdays. That dusty classroom became my sanctuary. We salvaged computers from scrap, exchanged programming texts, and stayed late perfecting code. I developed my first application using borrowed equipment. My teacher, Mr. Alvarez, recognized what others missed. "You possess exceptional talent, Leah," he told me privately. "Never let anyone diminish your potential." By 17, I'd mapped my escape route. College applications were my ticket away from Seattle while Dylan enjoyed Stanford with our parents. Complete financial backing, I still remember that devastating Thanksgiving dinner. My father raised his glass. "To Dylan's success at Stanford." Amid the applause, my mother added dismissively, "Leah will hopefully find stable employment soon." My uncle joked, "My restaurant needs dishwashers." Everyone laughed, my parents loudest of all. But I knew something they didn't. I'd secured a complete scholarship to an elite technology program across the country. Full tuition, housing stipend, everything covered. I silently packed my belongings, relocated to a Manhattan dormitory, worked restaurant shifts between classes, graduated with honors, and immediately secured a position at a prestigious cyber security company. 4 years later, I successfully led a bank integration project worth millions. My bonus alone could purchase property. Within days, I found my dream home. A beautiful Fort Greene brownstone with 2 bedrooms, modern kitchen, original brick walls near the park. At 31, I achieved homeownership completely independently. 2. Weeks before Christmas, I welcomed close friends, the people who witnessed my struggles, shared my tears over coding challenges, and celebrated my victories. We gathered around unpacked boxes, eating Thai food from containers, drinking inexpensive wine, sharing authentic conversation. My friend Lisa toasted, "To Leah, who transformed invisibility into incredible strength." As glasses clinked, I contemplated my imminent family visit. This time, I wasn't returning as the forgotten daughter, but as a woman fully aware of her value. The week before Christmas, I took vacation days, packed thoughtfully selected gifts, and drove 6 hours to my childhood home in North Seattle. The fee? Property looked neglected. Peeling paint, overgrown landscaping, flickering porch light resembling a fading memory. I rang the bell, hands trembling slightly. The door creaked open. "Leah." My mother blinked repeatedly. "You actually came." Her embrace felt mechanical and brief. "You look different." Indoors, familiar scents assaulted me. Furniture polish, stale air, and that ever-present bowl of dried potpourri. The living, Room bustled with relatives whose conversations halted when I appeared. "Look who finally remembered us," someone muttered. Another whispered, "Is she wearing gym clothes?" I glanced down at my designer outfit, tailored slacks and luxury coat, clearly unappreciated by this crowd. Dylan emerged triumphantly from the kitchen. "Everyone, meet my wife, Mia," he announced, gesturing toward her pregnant belly. "Your future niece or nephew." "Congratulations," I offered politely. He smirked condescendingly. "Still hiding behind computer screens somewhere?" Laughter rippled through the room. "I work in technology," I replied evenly. "What does that mean?" Dylan snorted. "Fixing printers or answering helpline calls?" Turning to his wife, he added, "Leah was always our strange relative, probably working in some basement." I simply smiled. "Something like that." My mother interrupted. "Dinner's almost ready. Leah, drop your bags. Dylan's using your former bedroom as his office space, so you'll sleep on the couch." Of course he claimed my room. Of course I'd get the sofa. The evening proceeded as a slow parade of condescension. Aunt Nora cornered me by the punch bowl. "Your brother's launching his own company. Such vision. And you're still doing computer stuff?" "I develop software," I clarified. She wrinkled her nose. "Well, someone has to handle the boring technical things." Uncle Mike approached during meal preparation. "My restaurant still needs staff, minimum wage but honest work." "I appreciate the offer," I responded, "but I'm satisfied with my current position." At dinner, they relegated me to the table's far end near the kitchen door while Dylan monopolized everyone's attention. "This business will revolutionize everything," he declared, grandly. "We just need startup funding." "How much?" Dad inquired. "Just $200,000 initially," Dylan replied casually. I nearly choked on my water. His pitch contained every startup cliché I'd ever encountered. "We'll find a solution," Mom assured him, patting his hand. "Family supports family." After dinner, she tossed me a blanket and indicated the couch. Christmas morning arrived with Dylan and Mia rushing downstairs like excited children. Their gift pile towered impressively. They unwrapped my carefully selected premium presents. "Leah, these are beautiful," Mom gasped, admiring her designer handbag. But when my turn came, "Oh," Mom exclaimed with exaggerated shock, "we completely forgot about you, Leah." Dylan laughed cruelly, exactly like during childhood. "Don't cry. This time," he taunted, "you're grown now." Something shifted inside me, not hurt or rage, but perfect clarity. "I'm not upset," I stated calmly, reaching into my purse. "I actually bought myself something significant this year." I displayed my keychain, its metal catching the light. Mom frowned. "What's that?" "Keys," I explained simply. "To my new home. I completed the purchase last week." Silence descended like shattered glass. Dad blinked rapidly. "You purchased property? With what resources?" "Money," I replied. "From my career. A major bank just licensed my security framework. My portion was substantial." Mom leaned forward. "How substantial?" I shrugged nonchalantly. "Around $150,000 after taxes." You could have heard a pin drop. Dylan's jaw slackened, Mia's eyes widened, my parents stared as though I'd revealed a secret identity. $150,000, Mom repeated incredulously. "What position pays bonuses like that?" "As I mentioned," I explained patiently, "I develop software, enterprise security systems for Fortune 500 clients." Dad shifted closer. "How long have you earned this level of income?" "Since graduation. The bonuses vary, but my base salary has exceeded 6 figures for years." Suddenly, everything transformed. Mom stood up, artificially bright. "Sweetheart, why didn't you tell us? We're incredibly proud." Dad chimed in. "Dylan, did you hear? Your sister works with major corporations." Dylan's expression hardened as Mia whispered something in his ear. Mom settled beside me. "Tell us about this apartment. How many bedrooms? We should visit. Family belongs together." I nearly laughed. "Family? After 8 years of complete silence?" "Actually," I said, rising, I need to drive back. Mom clutched my arm. You just arrived. Dad nodded eagerly. We haven't discussed your professional accomplishments. While packing, I overheard their urgent whispers. When I returned downstairs with my suitcase, they waited with transparent smiles. Before leaving, Dad began smoothly. We should discuss Dylan's business opportunity. As mentioned, he needs initial capital. Dylan smiled as though doing me a favor. It's a guaranteed investment. Ground floor opportunity. How much? I asked directly. Just $200,000, he replied casually. Given your earnings, that's insignificant, right? I observed them carefully. My parents who once laughed when offered a dishwashing position, my brother who spent years belittling me, his wife who joined the mockery yesterday. No, I stated firmly. Their smiles vanished instantly. What do you mean, no? Mom demanded sharply. I mean I won't provide any funding. But we're family, Dad protested as though the word carried magical power. I crossed my arms. Where was family when you evicted me after graduation, or when you financed Dylan's education but abandoned me? That was different, Mom snapped. We lacked resources then. You had money for Dylan, I countered. Dylan showed promise, she blurted, then backtracked hastily. I mean, we thought employment suited you better. I collected my belongings. I need to leave. Ungrateful brat, Dylan exploded. After everything this family provided. What exactly? I challenged. Raising and feeding me? That's parental obligation, not charity. And you constantly reinforced my unwelcome status. I walked toward the exit while they continued protesting. You'll regret this decision, Mom shouted. I won't, I assured her sincerely. During my highway journey, my phone illuminated with messages, calls, texts, guilt manipulation. I blocked every contact. Back in Brooklyn, I sipped wine on my balcony, watching city lights twinkle while my friend Sarah texted, Heard about the confrontation. Sorry about your family. Don't apologize, I replied. This was the greatest gift they ever gave me. Freedom. She responded with laughing emojis. Your mother tells everyone you're selfish. Let her, I answered. That night brought the deepest sleep I'd experienced in years. Morning arrived with message notifications, not from immediate family, but from relatives I hadn't contacted in ages. Your mother explained everything. How could you abandon family? Dylan deserves your support. We always suspected your selfishness. I blocked every number, every guilt-inducing message, completely erased. Only Sarah remained connected. She called that afternoon. Leah, your family's imploding. Your mother tells everyone you're wealthy but refused to help Dylan. Perfect, I replied calmly. She claims you've forgotten your origins. Naturally. Heaven. Forbid they acknowledge their neglected daughter achieved something independently. Sarah's tone softened. I'm proud of you, regardless. That matters tremendously, I told her. You're my only remaining family connection. That evening, I met friends at our favorite Fort Greene wine bar, intimate leather seating beneath twinkling fairy lights. I shared the entire experience. Good riddance, Lisa declared. They're completely toxic. Will you miss them? Another friend asked thoughtfully. I considered carefully. No, I've spent years mourning the family I never actually had. This simply concludes that chapter. I raised my glass. To chosen family. To chosen family. They echoed warmly. My phone vibrated. Unknown number. I silenced it permanently. 6 months later, summer sunshine enveloped the city. I enjoyed morning, coffee on my balcony, watching life unfold below. The fog I'd unknowingly lived within had finally lifted. Sarah maintained weekly updates, not because I requested them, but because she genuinely cared. Jake's daughter arrived last month. She mentioned. They named her Madison. How wonderful. I replied sincerely, hoping this little girl would receive the love I never experienced. According to Sarah, Dylan and Mia still lived with my parents. The celebrated startup remained merely theoretical conversation. Even extended, family tired of hearing about it. Meanwhile, my parents transformed my betrayal into their favorite victim narrative at every gathering, portraying me as their ungrateful daughter who vanished despite their countless sacrifices. My life had evolved beautifully. 3 months after that disastrous Christmas, I met Ethan at a coffee shop near my office, a freelance designer with gentle eyes and profound respect for personal boundaries. He understood both technology and the significance of walking away from toxic relationships, having done so himself. My career flourished after promotion to lead systems architect for a major AI security integration. The salary increase was pleasant, but what truly excited me was creating groundbreaking innovations with a team that valued my contributions. I was finally building the life I once dreamed about while lying on that lumpy basement couch. About a month ago, Dylan somehow obtained my new number. "Hey, Leah," he began with forced cheerfulness. "Thought we should reconnect." "What do you need?" I asked directly. "Madison should meet her aunt. Also, finances are tight. Mom and Dad's house needs repairs." "No," I interrupted firmly. "You don't even know how much—" "The amount is irrelevant. You self-centered—" I disconnected and blocked him immediately. Sitting in my sunlit apartment beside Ethan, I felt profound peace. Everything they claimed I'd never achieve, love, stability, success, I'd built independently. Sarah mentioned they were converting my former bedroom into a nursery. Surprisingly, it didn't hurt. That room never truly belonged to me anyway. This space does. They persisted in reaching me through distant relatives and acquaintances. My favorite was Aunt Nora's voicemail. "Family is forever, Leah." But I had already departed permanently. Ethan and I planned our Japan trip, studying language basics, researching temples, bookmarking authentic noodle shops. Sarah messaged, "Your mother saw your vacation photos and says it's typical you'd prioritize travel over helping family." "Perfect," I responded. "Perhaps she'll finally understand." Last week brought my promotion to engineering director, top-tier compensation package. "You've absolutely earned this," my supervisor affirmed. We celebrated with friends. Lisa joked, "Your mother probably sensed your bank account increased." That evening, Ethan brought champagne to the balcony. "Let's purchase a house," I suggested. "Something spacious with a yard, maybe even a dog." My phone buzzed with Sarah's message. "Your mother suggests you must be selling drugs." I laughed genuinely. Let them create whatever narratives they prefer. I'm living my authentic story. If you've ever felt invisible within your own family, please share your experience. Tell me what you walked away from and what peace you constructed afterward. Your support reminds me I'm not alone. Perhaps you need that reassurance too. My advice? Don't wait for permission to choose yourself. Build the life reflecting your true worth, not their limited expectations. If this resonates with you, please subscribe.